Hello friends. I've been dreading making this video for the last 6 months. I disclosed about 6 months ago that I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer, and I was going to update you throughout the journey, and however I was unable to do so, and I do want to do a little explaining as to why I wasn't unable to. And so if you have a little bit of time and are interested in my story, I would like to share it with you. So I wrote stuff down because I'm gonna forget things, but the message is still gonna be the same. So let's see. On June 14th, 2024, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cervical cancer. What that means for me is that I had one large tumor about the size of a cigarette pack on my cervix. The cancer had spread into my pelvic lymph nodes. Those tumors were smaller than 1 centimeter, so I had 3 of those, and that means I had 4 tumors in total. So my protocol, Western medicine treatment plan was 6 rounds of chemo once a week for 6 weeks, along with 25 rounds of external radiation, which were completed in August. So what that means is every single day for 5 days a week, 5 weeks, I would go in, lay down on a table, and get radiated. Let's see, a typical day would be anywhere from 1 to 3 doctor appointments, and I'm not quite sure if you're familiar with what 1, 2, 3 doctor appointments is like in a day while you're extremely ill. It's not fun. Let's go a little bit into the side effects, long-term and short-term. I think that now people, when they hang out with me and when they see me and they see that I look normal and I look okay, and they're like, oh, she must be fine. I'm here to tell you the truth, whether I've been with you or not. Plan to see you in the future. Chemotherapy is a medication that is something that is going to affect you for the rest of your life, and you're never going to be the same. No matter what you tell people, no matter what you tell yourself, there are just some things that are never the same, and it's very difficult. So let's go into it. Side effects, long and short term. Immediately after waking up, I feel nauseous. Now, for me, what that means is waking up, not even opening my eyes, but feeling like my immediate first thought is, where's my nausea medication? Because I just get nauseous randomly. If you know me and you've been around me, you know we're talking, but like normal, back to normal. Sometimes not normal, sometimes I go into episodes. It's rough. The nausea has been really, really difficult for me throughout this entire thing. I am on nausea medication, but sometimes I'm a little bit scatterbrained and don't always have them with me, and obviously that defeats the purpose. For a period of time when I was going through chemotherapy, now keep in mind the time frame is 6 months. So I started in June, it's now December. Obviously I'm in the hospital doing my last treatment, and I'm going to obviously expand on that in a little bit. I was bedridden for a little bit of time, probably about like 3 weeks or so, 3-4 weeks, meaning I couldn't care for myself. I couldn't prepare food for myself. Obviously, I have a child, and her father was extremely helpful during this period of time. I'm so blessed and so grateful for everyone that's been in my life. We're also going to get into that in a little bit. So during those times, I did have the family and support to help me with the things that were very, very important to me that I needed help with. Let's see, the chemo made me do things that made my quality of life very poor. I completely lost my appetite. I started chemotherapy and radiation at 125 pounds. My lowest was 100 pounds. Currently I'm around 112, which is really, really good for me. So I'm excited about that. So basically the appetite thing got basically to the point where food would gross me out completely. Excuse me. I would be going through fits of extreme dizziness. And when I say dizziness, I am talking about, I feel like I was on the, what is it called? Tetron or something. That thing when you're at the fair and you're spinning around and you're stuck to the side of the wall and all your change falls out of your pocket and gets stuck to the wall too. That is what I felt like 24/7 for months. No matter how much I laid down, no matter how much I slept, no matter how much I relaxed and tried to get my mind into a different space, I just was spinning. And I felt like I wanted to hold on to something and just not fly away. I felt like I was just gonna I just wasn't grounded or something. It was very, very intense, feeling very nerve-wracking, scary. Let's move on. Blah, blah, blah. My brain felt like it was on a constant carnival ride, wasn't able to get off. Oh, let's talk about chemo brain, because that's a thing. Okay. It's absolutely terrifying. I got to a point within myself where I actually wasn't able to completely form thoughts in my brain. Now, not being able to complete thoughts made it difficult for me to relay speech from said undeveloped thoughts. So communicating became a little bit difficult for me. A little bit. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. It became difficult because I wasn't processing the thoughts properly. It made me feel very, very sad and embarrassed because I didn't want to be around anyone. And it was more terrifying than anything because I didn't know if it was ever going to go back to normal. I would be mid-sentence and completely forget what I was talking about, completely forget the words that I was trying to say. And how do you explain that to somebody? Unless there's somebody that you're very, very close with and that they're your friend. So I just want to let you guys know that, these medications, they do cause short-term or long-term effects. I suffer from short-term memory loss. I suffer from extreme joint pain. I guess what happened to me is, so I was getting radiated in specifically the pelvic area. They don't radiate anywhere else because I have the cervical cancer. And what that does is it affects all the areas close to your cervix. And they were doing my entire pelvis. So I have severe hip and joint and leg pain because of just the location as to where I was being radiated. So along with that comes some GI issues. Nothing too crazy, but I've always been a regular girl. Wake up, do my thing, move on with the day. Now it's not quite the same. I'm not going to go into any more details about that, but we'll just keep it at that. Again, the dizziness, when it happens, the dizziness and the nausea come and go when they want to. And sometimes they're okay and subtle, but sometimes they come with vengeance. See, I can't even pronounce my words properly sometimes, and it's a little embarrassing because I pride myself on being articulate and being, attention to detail and all of those things. And I, slowly but surely I'm getting back to my regular self. But it takes time. It really does. Let's see what was happening. So it can cause vertigo type effects again with no warning whatsoever. Let's check my other notes and see if there's anything on here that I may have missed. So I'll be bummed if I make this video and I don't get everything in. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that it is the middle of, what is it? It's December, okay. And I am doing something called brachytherapy. Now, part of my treatment plan, because every diagnosis of cancer has a protocol of treatment plan in Western medicine. You have this, there's a formula for whatever this is. So my formula was the 6 rounds of chemotherapy, the 25 rounds of external radiation, and then I was to do something called brachytherapy, where I was to be hospitalized for 4 days with an applicator because I'm cervical, so this is all vaginal. So an applicator inserted into my vagina for 3 days. I have to lay in one same position for 3 days. And then they insert, along with the catheter, and along with medication to make me not go to the bathroom because I cannot move and get up or go anywhere except for this bed. I get radioactive seeds implanted directly into the localized area that the cancer cells are still active. So here I am doing that. And let's go into a little backstory as to why I canceled it in October and what I did and all of that. I am lucky enough to know a woman in Naples. Her name is Stephanie Colhagen. A lot of you may know her. She works for an alternative medicine doctor named Dr. Vance in downtown Naples. And she doesn't take insurance, so don't get me wrong, she was definitely out of my price range. However, there is no price on your health. And so after I got done with the chemotherapy and radiation, my body was drained. I was like, it brings you, no one's going to tell you this. It brings you this close to death. When they say, oh, you have cancer, you have to fight for your life, I never understood what it meant. It literally means that they're going to bring you so close to death that you're going to be fighting for your life. Fucking fighting. You're going to be so weak, so sick, so helpless, so just that, not just the unknown. Like, I never had heart palpitations in my life, and those of you know me know I'm an ex-addict, and I've done all kinds of crazy shit, and I never felt anything close to what these medications brought me to. And these doctors wouldn't even have compassion enough to give me any sort of, barely any pain medication to get me through, to give me some sort of relief while I'm suffering. Pretty much. Period. That's the end of the story. So right now I'm doing the brachytherapy. I'm hospitalized for 4 days. Gotta lay like this. I don't really want to get too graphic with it, but I have an applicator. I don't want to go too deep, but I've got a thing here. I've got a catheter. This will stay in here for 4 days. I can't move. But why did I wait? I felt my body needed a rest after the chemo and radiation. I felt like, even though I'm young and strong and all these things, that I listened to, my body told me, you can't do this right now, and you will not do this right now. And my doctors were pissed off at me. And I was told I had 5 years left to live if I didn't do this procedure. And, I listened to them. I said, okay. I wasn't really concerned with them at that point. I'm concerned with me because it's my body and it's how I feel. I have to go to bed every night. They could sleep in their comfy beds and don't have to fucking worry about shitting their pants or bleeding all over the bed or vomiting in the trash can next door to their bed. Anyway, I did see Dr. Vance, an alternative medicine doctor, and she did an extensive amount of blood work and all sorts of testing. Definitely worth the thousands of dollars I spent to go to her. I will admit that. I don't have any regrets on that at all. She's an amazing human being as it is. She put me on medication, some alternative medication, holistic medications, alternative, I don't know what the fucking words are. I am currently about 4 months on ivermectin, fenbendazole, and I don't have them with me now, but I'll make a video on that later. Multiple supplements of just very, very high dose vitamins, supplements, anything and everything you can think of. I'm on a 4,000% a day nutrition value, of certain things. I'm on the supplements, I'm on tinctures, I do the soursop, I do the bitters, I do soursop leaves, I do, you think, ask me now. I do burdock root, stuff like this. I try to get some colloidal silver in there. If there's any suggestions that you have for me, on things that might help, I'm open to suggestion. If you've had gone through something like this, and I'd love to just chat and bitch and bullshit, and I'm always wanting to absorb more knowledge, no matter what it is or what it's about. It's always gonna add to rather than take away. And I think that there's one more point that I want to make, and I hope that in the future I become strong enough to make this point to the rest of the world and to all the women out there. And honestly, I would sit up if I could, but I really technically am not allowed to. Listen to your body. Pain is your body's way of communicating something isn't right. Blood or bleeding can be dangerous. Please listen to your body. I don't care how busy you are. I don't care how much your boss won't let you off work. You have one life. One. In between 2021 and present day, my abnormal pap turned into precancer cells that eventually got so bad it turned into a 7-centimeter tumor that, if I would have just gone to the doctor, totally would have been managed easy. They could have burned it out, could have done things like, they do things called leaps where, they burn out those cells easy. It's an easy fix. You don't have to go through all this. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, fighting with my insurance company about a PET scan, telling me I'm not medically needy enough. It's not necessary by my doctor, when my doctor's the one that told me I needed the PET scan to begin with. It's mind-blowing, and it's one of those things you never think it's gonna happen. I never thought this would happen to me. Not a fucking shit, me? What? No way. But out of the 1% of women that have HPV that turn into cervical cancer, I am that 1%. And it sucks. It sucked a lot. But I want to sincerely thank every single human being that has been there for me in any way and every way possible that you've been there for me. Whether it was a text message, a phone call, whether you donated to my GoFundMe, because I know there's some anonymous people that did, and I just want you to know that every little bit helped me through this. Without your support, do not know where I would be. In all honesty, I don't know where I'd be living. I don't know the well-being of, my family, my child. And I'm so blessed that I was able to move back in with my mother and have that burden of rent and bills taken off of me during this period of time. And it breaks my heart to think about people that go through this and don't have the support that I have. You know, I haven't been able to work since since July 1st. I haven't worked. It's January 13th. So obviously finances are a huge, huge weight on me, especially having to be able to provide for another human being. I don't know how people do it that don't have support, and I don't know how I'm doing it, and it's very difficult, and I'm very scared. I know that I just have to keep praying, and I have to keep believing in myself and knowing that I will heal from this quickly, smoothly, safely, and I will get back in the workforce, and I will be able to support my family. And 2025 is going to be a great year. Fingers crossed that in 3 months from now, when I get my next scan, that it's gone and I can move on with my life, and I can put this behind me, and I can say I'm a cancer survivor, and I can be an advocate for other women going through the same thing, and I can be there for people who may be going through the same thing, because I know for sure I'm not the only one. It's impossible. And I just, if you know anyone that's struggling with any kind of cancer and is lost and depressed and doesn't know where to turn, please reach out to me. I would love to talk to anyone. I'm very open, I'm very honest. As you can probably tell, I'm making a 30-minute video in severe pain with this apparatus inside me for the next 3-4 days, whatever. But I'm strong. I'm gonna get through this with no man. My best friend drove me here this morning at 5 a.m. She was there for me. And I'm so grateful for her. I'm so grateful for all my friends, female and male. Just no boyfriends. But life is short. And hug your children every day. And I'm sorry for crying, but I don't know how else to feel, because this is real shit. And I'm not trying to be anyone else. It's not me. So I hope that my message got to somebody at this current time. And there's something on me. Oh God. I'm wishing, I told you I was gonna update you on my treatment, and I was so sick. Sick isn't even the word. You wouldn't have wanted to see what I looked like. My eyes were sunken into my face. I was a disaster. I couldn't talk, I couldn't think, the sunlight, sensory issues. It was a mess. If you have anyone going through this, imagine they want to be comfortable. Imagine, get them a robe, get them some slippers, Get him some fuzzy socks. Get him a face mask. Get him something comfortable. Something that's gonna bring them. It doesn't have to be a fucking gold bracelet. Bring them coconut water. Bring them aloe water. Bring them a papaya and cut it up for them. Bring them fruit. Bring them something that's going to, something from your heart that's going to revitalize their cells. Do a little research. You know, what do they like? Bring them a nice fluffy blanket. Bring them, I don't know, something you'd want if you felt like fucking shit. Pretty much. Sorry for the cursing, and I know this is way too long, and I'm probably gonna be really embarrassed when I watch this back, but it's been on my mind for months, and I've been a pussy, and I've been scared to post a video because I'm insecure about myself, because who isn't? And I'm sitting in a hospital bed with wild hair and no makeup on and having cramps like crazy, even though you do give me this pain meds, but do they do anything? I don't know. Anyway, again, love and light to all of you, and hug your children and your spouse, and not even to do with cancer, you never know what's going to happen in life, ever. So, forget the hate. Forget getting distracted by all this bullshit that's going on in this world. Forget that shit. And love your people. Your circle is the most important thing in your life. Be there for them as much as they are for you. I love you guys. I love you guys so much, and everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being there. Also, not gonna lie, there's a link to my GoFundMe. $5, $1. I'm going back to work immediately when I'm done with this treatment, whenever I'm recovered. But it's getting really rough for me and my daughter. I'm not a beggar, and I'm not someone that asks for things. But if you could, at the very least, just share it. Just share it. Just please put it out there. I need to spread awareness to women. They need to be getting PAPs regularly. When I say regularly, I mean at least once a year. And if you have an abnormal PAP that comes back and they say come back in a year, do not listen to them. Do not come back in a year. Come back in at least 6 months, because those cells turn into precancer cells so quickly. I'm living proof. Don't listen to what they say. Do your own research. Be your own advocate. And when they tell you that you can't do something or have something, this is the verbiage you use to your doctor. You say, okay, can you make sure that I requested such and such? You refused it, and I want you to make note of that in your notes today, and I want a copy of it before I leave your office. And you sit your little beautiful divine butt in the waiting room chair with your little legs crossed until they bring you out the notes. And guaranteed, 9 times out of 10, those doctors, because of legality issues, are not going to write it down, and they are going to listen to you finally. Okay? That's one thing I've learned. Because they don't listen. It's like they don't care. Anyway, I care. And I'm going to shut up now. And I love you. Mwah!